Alrighty, Mr. Gill. So today we're going to go over the process of extracting using the banner generator instead of your affiliate portal for Matt Lloyd stuff, how to extract that information and put it to use with the Adbrite network so you can start getting some ads up and running. So even though I'm using a Mac, a lot of the same things I'll be doing on Mac with my browser and with Photoshop will be the exact same steps. They'll just work a little differently, but same principles will apply. So I'm going to go here and go to your special folder because there's a special folder just for you. And I'm going to go ahead and open up your affiliate portal, and I'm going to open up another tab for Adbrite here so we can maximize efficiency. And I'm going to go ahead and open up Photoshop while I'm at it so we can just work like true workhorses here. And here I'm going to go ahead and go back to the affiliate portal, and using 1Password I'm going to go ahead and log in as you. And I'm going to go here to the banner section. And then under Adbrite, we're already logged in, so we'll just go to Advertise Account and go to Create Account, Create Campaign, excuse me. And I'm going to go ahead and fill out most of this. Leave it as CPC banner ad, show ad everywhere in the United States, standard targeting, show ad on all categories, do not target by keyword, both male and female. And for ages, we'll check all except under 18. So we want to choose the ages and choose everything but 18. I'll leave that as performance-based and that's third-party data. I'll go ahead and set the budget now for 75 cents per click. Just a starting point if you feel comfortable with that, and set the budget at $50 a day. Go ahead and say next, and the next step we'll be presented with is the banners and the destination URLs. So here's all the sizes of banners that the Adbrite network accepts. I'm going to go ahead and open up a text edit for me, what will be Notepad for you. And on this particular document here, I'm going to go ahead and we're starting off with a blank document. So I'm going to go back to the affiliate portal here, and here's the link generator, banner generator, excuse me, for some of Matt Lloyd's products. Now I want to drive the traffic specifically to the Mobi order page. So here's the very first one here, which is the banner for email marketing campaign 160 by 600 dimensions. So I'm going to go say generate banner, and as you can see here, everything, remember, that's between the ahref equals is where the destination URL is. So I'm going to go ahead and select all of that very specifically, right click on it, copy it. I'm going to go to my text edit document, and I'm going to go ahead and paste that so that I have the destination URL. But now the next step is we need to grab the image. And remember, for images, it's everything in between this image tag. So it's img source src equals, and then open quotations. So I'm going to copy all of that in between the quotations, and that is the exact website address to that specific banner, which is 160 by 600 pixels. So now that I've copied that, right click on it and select copy. I'm going to go ahead and close that. I'm going to open up a new tab in my browser by going to File, New Tab. Doesn't matter if you're using Firefox or Internet Explorer. And I'm going to go ahead and right click and say Paste. And I'm going to go ahead and click Enter. And that is bringing up that specific banner. I'm going to right click on that banner as well and say Save Image As. And I'm going to go ahead and save it on my desktop. Or you know what? I'm going to create a new folder on my desktop called ML for Matt Lloyd. And I'm going to save that banner in there. So I'm going to go ahead and click on Save. And then I'm going to open up Photoshop, and I'm going to go to File, Open, to my desktop. On my desktop, there's a folder called ML. And on that very specific folder, there's an image that we just saved for the 160 by 600. So I'm going to go ahead and open that up. But there is a problem with this image that we discovered when trying to record this video the last time, that it's not the proper dimension. So it's important that you should test every image's dimension to make sure that you're not going to have any problems down the road. And you can do that once you have the image open in Photoshop by going to File, Edit Image here at the top and going specifically to image size. And you can see here the image size is not 160 by 600. It's 204 by 545. So you need to modify this image, and the way we'll do that is we're just going to modify the width. We're going to leave the height alone. So the width, I'm going to change that to 160, but wait a minute, the height is now 427. That's okay, because we're going to modify that in a different way. I'm going to click on OK, and here on the bottom left-hand side of your screen in Photoshop, there's a toolbar section with a ton of tools, but at the very bottom, you'll see two squares with colors that should be black and should be white. Now you notice the black may be in front and the white should be in the back, but it might be reversed. That's okay. Right to the top right of that specific tool, you'll see a little arrow that looks like it's pointing to the left and down on each end of the arrow. If you click on that, you'll be able to rotate the colors where the white will now be in the front and the black in the back. Now, if you happen to leave the black in the back, we're going to get an undesired result. I'm going to show you that result simply so you can understand why we want that switched and we want the white in the back and the black in the front. The next step, now that we've modified the width of the image, is we need to modify the height and make it 600 pixels. So I'm going to go back to image, but instead of going to image size, I'm going to go to canvas size. And by going to canvas size, it's opening up the canvas size. However, I don't want to modify things in centimeters. I want to do it in pixels. And you can see here the width is 160, but the height is 427. So I'm going to change the height to 600 and click on OK. But you can see here that now we have these black bars at the very top of the image and at the bottom of the image. We don't want that. So I'm going to click on Edit and undo Canvas Size. I'm going to come back to the Tool section here on this bottom left-hand corner, and I'm going to click on that little arrow so that the white can go to the back and the black can come to the front. And I'm going to try this one more time. Go to Image, Canvas Size, change the centimeters to pixels, change the height to be 600, and now it is the proper size. Excellent. Now the last step, that we've corrected the dimensions of the image, and now I need to optimize it to make it less than 50 kilobytes because that's the size that Adbrite prefers. To do that, it's really simple. We don't have to do too much and make it too complicated other than simply going to, in Photoshop, going to File and Save for Web and Devices. When we do that, we'll have an option here, a box that'll come up, and at the top right-hand corner, you'll be able to select what type of image you want to save and the quality of the image. The quality of the image is what's going to determine the size of the file, not the dimensions, but the file size of how much space it takes up to save this image. You always want to leave it as JPEG, and you probably want to play with the quality size numbers to probably be somewhere between 70 to 80, give or take. The lower you go, the less quality the image is, and the smaller it is, the higher you go. Obviously, the bigger the size of the image is in terms of file size, not dimensions, but then the higher the quality. So it's always, you want to play a middle ground and find somewhere where you're kind of happy with the quality and happy with the file size. Leaving it at 80 results in an image here, look at the bottom left-hand corner of the screen, to be 33.49 kilobytes. That's perfect because it needs to be anywhere under 50 kilobytes. So I'm going to click on Save, and underneath this Matt Lloyd folder, I'm going to go ahead and call it version 2. I'm going to add a V2 at the very end so that it's ME 160 by 600 V2. That's the name of the image. I'm going to go ahead and click on Save. And I'm going to go ahead and close this. And I'm going to come back to my browser. I'm going to close this as well. I'm going to come back here to Adbrite, and I'm going to go ahead and say Choose Image. And I'm going to go to the desktop, and I'm going to browse to the folder called ML. And I'm going to select the image that has the V2 at the very end of it. Then for the image name, we're going to call it Mobi 160 by 600. And for the destination URL, I'm going to select the affiliate link that I put in my text edit program, but you would be getting it from your Notepad document. All you have to do is select the entire link, right-click and go to Copy, come back to the Adbrite web page, and right-click on that destination URL section, right-click and go to Paste. Once that's done, we go and click Save Ad, and it should go ahead and save without any problems, errors, or issues. And there it is. It is completely done. We'll go ahead and do one more for good measure. Come back here to the Marketing Banners Affiliate Portal section, and we're going to go ahead and select this banner ad, which is 300 by 250. I'm going to click on Generate Banner, and it brings up this little window. And right here, remember, this is what we want. We want the path, the source to the image, which is in this tag here called IMG source src equals, and I'm going to take everything in between the quotation marks, highlight it, right click, go to Copy, close this window, open up a new tab, paste that URL, enter, there's the image. I'm now going to go ahead and right click on that, go to Save Image, save that in the ML folder, hit enter, close that, go to Photoshop, go to File, go to Open up this 300 by 250 image that I just finished saving. Remember, I need to check the image dimensions. Go to Image, Image Size, it's 300 by 250. Perfect. Don't need to modify anything. All we simply have to do now is reduce the file size of the image, not the dimension, but the storage capacity. So I go to File, Save for Web and Devices, And if we leave it at 80% a JPEG, you can see here that it's 34.35 kilobytes in the bottom left-hand corner of this screen. That's perfect because the magic number is under 50. So I'm going to click on Save, and I'm going to add a V2 at the very end of it. Click on Save, close this image here in Photoshop, go back to my web browser, go back to my Adbrite tab. I'm going to go ahead and say Choose Image and choose this 300 by 250 version 2. Then I'm going to go ahead and name the image to be MoB 300 by 250, and I'm going to come back to my text edit document, select that URL, right-click, copy, come back to my web page for Adbrite. In that destination URL, right-click and say Paste. Go ahead and say Save Ad. And give it a minute. And there you go. You now have two banners that have now been created. So whatever banners you're willing to use, you go ahead and say Select and say Next to confirm the order. After you've added whatever banners you need to, go ahead and enter in your credit card information and you'll be ready to go. Hope you've enjoyed this long, lengthy, and very step-by-step tutorial.